Welcome back to the AI Ripple Effect podcast. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Jason Reed, the president and CEO of Reed's Fuel and Trucking. Jason, it's a real pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
It's a pleasure to be invited on here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, why don't we start by you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your own background? And then
Sure.
our watchers would definitely love to hear more about Reed's, which I know is a genuine multi-generational family business
Right.
going back for 85 years. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Again, my name's Jason Reed. I am the president and CEO of a chip truck company that we run in Oregon in the United States. And we service sawmills in the local area and haul anywhere from, on average, 180 to 200 loads a day. We operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I myself grew up in the business starting at the age of about 5 or 6. As soon as I could hold a broom, my grandfather would come get me and take me down to the truck shop and have me sweeping the floors, organizing the parts room, power washing trucks, whatever it took to work around the shop and to get exposed to the family business itself. So I went to college, graduated from college, and then started driving truck. I drove truck through the high school years. And anytime everybody, during spring break, all my friends would go to the lake or go traveling with their families, I got to hang out with trucks and power wash equipment and stuff. So a little bit different upbringing than some of my college friends, but I wouldn't change it for the world, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Well, I think we're thankful to have you on as a guest today, because I think that's going to bring some real hard-earned insights to the watchers as well. So thank you.
Sure.
So why don't we start by we tend to start by asking our guests what they're seeing in terms of the sort of broader themes out there when it comes to transport and logistics in North America right now. So what are maybe two or three of the things that you're seeing most prevalently right now?
And at least in the United States, we're always challenged with truck drivers, getting truck drivers, qualified truck drivers. And that's been an ongoing theme for probably the last 5 years or so. And I think what's becoming more of a challenge is the people that are going to the truck driving schools are now coming out of the truck driving school with automatic transmission endorsements only. So it becomes a real challenge for companies like ourselves. We run 40 trucks, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So almost all of our trucks are manual transmissions, 13 speeds, 18 speeds, because our vehicles haul up to 105,500 pounds. So we need that extra horsepower, heavier duty transmission to not only just go down the road, but when we go to dump the material in our trailers, more times than not, we have to back up on somewhat of a slight incline to be able to raise the trailer or the truck and the trailer in the air. Up until recently, an automatic transmission wasn't feasible for our application in the trucking industry. And then about 2 years ago, we went to the business partner and myself went back to the Kenworth truck factory, and we're surprised to understand that in the factory, more than 80% of the trucks being built on a daily basis were automatic transmissions, and that transmission world had really come along with new technology. And so we started ordering trucks with the new technology and automatic transmissions. And now we currently have eight in the fleet, taking delivery of 2 new trucks in a couple weeks with automatic transmissions. And we have more on order next year. So we're making that transition, heating the room, realizing that people are not having manual endorsements, more of an automatic endorsement. So that's been the greatest challenge. And I think it was in June, we had passed up at least 14 different truck drivers that came and applied, wanted to come to work for us, but they had the automatic endorsement. We couldn't hire them because we didn't have enough automatic trucks. So we're trying to pivot with the market and better understand the drivers that are coming out into the workforce.
Super interesting. So I guess the theme of our podcast is logistics, but also about new technology, specifically AI. And what are you seeing? How does AI fit into the mix in terms of your business?
Yeah, the AI has really started kicking in probably within I don't know, about the last 12 months probably. All of our trucks have digital mirrors on the side, or the new trucks we have digital mirrors. So it's a little camera on the outside where there's still a traditional mirror for the United States, but there's a camera that shoots to the back and also kind of gives a 360-degree view of the surroundings of the truck that really notifies the driver of maybe a hazardous predicament they're getting into, or maybe a car in a blind spot that they weren't aware of. So the dash cameras are starting to become more AI in our industry. And then also, our, at least in the United States, we have to have e-log system. So we've integrated an e-log system where we keep track of the driver's hours, along with improving not only our dash cameras, but also now we're adding cameras down the sides of our trucks or looking back towards the sides of our trucks, and then also a top view. Because in our industry, we're pulling into sawmills where sometimes the height clearance is pretty close to the top of our trailer and have had damage to our trailers, the top part from drivers not paying attention. So now not only do the drivers have digital cameras that are somewhat AI, now they have a dash camera system with a little TV screen that will notify not only themselves of a hazard, again, blind spots or getting too close to an obstacle. Our dispatcher will also get notified via an email, and then we can pull up those cameras automatically from the dispatch office and see what's going on with that truck. If they're involved in an accident, we can play back the video to see what caused the accident and stuff like that. So that aspect of our industries really seem to be changing quite quickly.
Interesting. And you kind of touched on this before on the driver side of things, but one of the themes that we see quite a lot on our podcast is the interplay between AI and sort of human touch, the element. And
Right.
trucking and transport has been is a people-centric business, or has been traditionally very people-centric. How do you kind of, you talked about some of those new technologies you're bringing in. How do you balance that with maintaining the relationship with the drivers, but also with the customers?
Yeah. So we really look after our drivers. We still want to have that personal touch with our drivers. So all of our drivers are home every day. We run two shifts or two 12-hour shifts. They all come in, they acknowledge the dispatcher. They have face-to-face meetings with them. And then throughout the day, they're dispatched over a company radio. So there's that contact and that interface with not only the dispatchers, but also myself and my business partner. We are in the office of the dispatch area, so we're not in a separate room or a separate building. It's important for us to have that interaction with our drivers. So we really kind of tried to keep the AI system out of that personal interaction just to make ourselves different than what other companies do. And then same thing with the customers. We still have the interaction with our customers either face to face, over the phone. We still do emails, but to us, it's real important to still have that interaction face to face. We go out and travel and have that interaction with our customers. In fact, in another week, we're headed down into California and some other states just to go have that face to face contact with customers.
That's great to hear. How do you use technology to, certainly be an emphasis on speed of response and accuracy when it comes to times, for example. How are
Right.
you sort of are you incorporating technology into that aspect of it so you
Yeah.
can
So
maintain that?
sure. On our e-log system that we have in the trucks, there's also a GPS system. So we can pull up, or the dispatcher can pull up, or I can pull up on my phone where our trucks are located on a mapping system. And then if we have a customer that calls and has an emergency or a breakdown, we can reroute that truck to the quickest way possible using that technology on our mapping system that's included into our dashboard.
Okay, great. Thank you. I wanted to touch on your own, going back to your own story, and you've been at in the driving seat of the business for over 4 decades, and so what have been some of the milestones on your on Reed's kind of growth journey, and what are the kind of say three biggest learnings you can pass on to our viewers when it comes to building a successful transport business?
Sure. Yeah. Just to back up. So my great grandfather started the business in 1940. And then here in Springfield, Oregon, which is right next to Eugene, Oregon, about 2 hours south of Portland. So we've had several transitions. We started the company, or my grandparents started the company with home heating oil, splitting wood from logging sites and then delivering wood as home heating also. Then they quickly changed out of that and started servicing sawmills, which was a huge plus for us because it accessed us into the sawmill industry. Here in Oregon, we're all about growing trees and producing products like as paper, toilet paper, tissue paper, anything wood byproducts oriented. There's a lot of people are surprised at all the different products that are created from the byproduct or what it takes to turn a round tree into a 2x4 piece of lumber. And so we did that, and then we made several, or we pivoted with the market several times. We had some flatbeds. We had about 30 of them. When the market crashed for 2008, 2009, we had to get rid of all the flatbeds just because there wasn't a market enough to keep those busy or to make them profitable. So our biggest thing is we switched and just focused just on chip trucks and servicing the sawmills out. I think that was a huge plus for us, just instead of having a shotgun approach to having more of a targeted approach so we can find our craft. And probably one of the biggest things that I feel, I've been doing this for 41 years now. My biggest plus that I've taken out of the whole thing is surrounding myself with a great team. I have a business partner, as I talked about. He's been with the company 32 years, and I couldn't imagine running this business without his assistance and helping me not only run the business, but have that relationship with all the drivers. Currently, we have close to 90 employees total. So that would be a lot for one person to do it. And it's just not feasible, I don't feel, to continue to have that personal touch, make everybody feel welcome to the company, make everybody feel like they're not a number. We actually know their names. And without Troy, my business partner, that couldn't happen. So I think the biggest takeaway for me out of everything is surrounding yourself with a good team that you can count on and that they have the same goals in mind that I do.
I think that's very sage advice. Thank you, Jason. And what about the next 12 months? What's on your kind of growth agenda?
Well, it's surprising. What I had scheduled for what my next 12 months goal would be changed about last week when the unfortunate event happened in Florida in the United States when the individual decided to make an illegal U-turn, and now the government in the United States seems to be triggering taking CDLs away from people that cannot speak and talk English or communicate in English. I think that's going to be a huge void that if they end up managing or taking away all those CDLs. I heard something about 250,000 drivers could lose their license, which could be a huge void. So I'm really concerned about that and how that's going to affect everything. And creates a big void that truck drivers that can communicate in English and read and write in English, they can pretty much write whatever they want as a paycheck and demand whatever they want as a paycheck. So it's a matter of us getting out with our customers, having that dialogue that, hey, we're probably going to have to do a rate increase so we can do wage increases to keep the service at the level that we're at now, because those drivers could go and haul for Amazon or whoever and possibly make more money as Amazon or whomever tries to fill in that void from those guys losing their CDLs. I hope that doesn't happen, but I can understand that it probably will.
Interesting. So going back to the theme of the sort of generational business, I know you talked about mentoring future leaders. What do you think the next generation of trucking professionals will need, and how when it comes to AI and data, do you think they need to be as fluent as that in that space as they are
Yeah,
in driving and operations?
sure. Yeah. So, the AI system has really came into our industry probably within the last 12 months. I am currently the fourth generation, so I'm still trying to get up to speed with everything that the whole AI world can do to help us run our business. Both my children are involved in the company now, so that'll be the fifth generation coming into the business. So I've already spent some time with my daughter who works in the office. Her and I work together on what we can do with AI, how we can integrate it with the system. Also, I've had dialogue with my son who is working as one of our truck drivers. So he's kind of taken the same lead into the company that I did when I was a lot younger. So yeah, it's interesting. It seems like the opportunity for AI in our industry is endless, but it's also important to still continue to have that personal contact, I think, because these drivers that are on the road for months on end with no contact with family or even seeing a dispatcher face to face, that seems to be who we attract, is guys that want to be home or feel more as a part of a team. So we need to still incorporate AI into our system, however that might be, but we still need that personal contact, I feel.
Sure, a theme in all of our discussions. So thank you, Jason. Last question is continues on in terms of the topic of AI. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is no confidence and 10 is total confidence, how confident are you that AI will create a measurable value in your business in the next 12 months and then looking further down the line in 5 years?
Yeah, I think AI in our industry, again, I'm in the infancy stage of the whole AI, so my learning curve is steadily uphill and growing faster every day. I think there's a huge potential in the next 12 months. Once we get to hopefully a level playing field and I can understand and feel comfortable with getting AI into our system, I think it might plateau just for my operation in our company, but I could see where it could, that the opportunity is endless, I think, if you're looking from 12 months from now to 5 years out. And who knows what's going to happen with that whole AI system. I believe that there's been some tests on some automated or AI trucks going out through Texas and Nevada through the deserts where there isn't much truck or vehicle traffic. I could see that potentially increasing in some industries. In my industry, not so much, just because we need to have that constant contact or be able to switch a truck from one direction to the next and make sure it's done. But I think there's going to be a lot of areas that AI is going to definitely help out. I think on my end, it's really going to help out in the HR end of the world, where we're having to come up with policies and procedures, and that helping us write a more effective policy and procedure or better directions, or all that stuff. I think that's going to be really helpful, and it already has shown the importance of that. But our day-to-day operation, getting somebody in a truck and using AI in a truck situation, the jury's still out. But again, I'm just beginning to learn all this, so we'll see what happens.
Indeed. Jason, thanks so much. It's been a really good conversation, lots of insights there, and a great story, of course, of your family business. So thank you for that. If the folks out there watching want to get in touch, what's the best way to get hold of you?
We're on Facebook at Reed's Fuel and Trucking. We're also on Instagram, Reed's Fuel Trucking. We have a website, www.reedsfuel.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Jason Reed on LinkedIn. Also, our company, Reed's Fuel and Trucking, is on LinkedIn. And we also have a YouTube channel, Reed's Fuel and Trucking.
We'll make sure to drop all those in the description of the
Great.
podcast. So thanks again, Jason, and thanks everyone out there for watching today. And we'll see you in the next edition of the AI Ripple Effect. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.